This is a 5.5 kilo bronze turkey, a beautiful bird, and it cooked in about 2.5 hours, and you can see it looks fantastic. We have a special way of doing it, which we started upside down, so the breast meat was facing downwards in the pan, and that meant that all the fat deposits on the back of the bird melt and drip through the breast meat, which can be dry sometimes. Gives a fantastic flavour. Now, resting the bird. So it's important to rest the bird, and it will stay warm. People worry it's going to get cold, but actually a bird, if you don't cut it and you leave it exactly like this, it will stay warm for about an hour. What I like to do is put a piece of tin foil over the top with a kitchen towel over the top of that, and it may even stay warm for about an hour and a half, which gives you plenty of time to crispen up your potatoes and reduce the stress of Christmas dinner. Now, the most important thing I think is carving the bird, and I've got a very special way of doing it. So, first thing we're going to do is use a really sharp knife. Now, if your knives are a bit blunt, try your local butcher, he might be able to sharpen them up for you. Also, carving tips, there's a step-by-step guide in the Lidgates cookbook, and it gives you some good cooking advice as well. Now, the first thing we're going to do is take the legs off. So, what we're going to do is make incisions just where the legs meet the breast. Very similar to the chicken video we did, which shows how to joint a chicken. So, doesn't matter which leg you take off first, just cut through the skin. And really, by pushing with your thumb, you can almost put pressure on the leg and it starts to come away. Try and get right underneath the meat, under the bone. There we go. There's a little piece of meat just there called the oyster, which is very important to get. Tastes very nice. Now, the other leg. Take your time. You just go underneath, cut the skin first, a little bit of pressure on the leg. And what you can do as well is flip the bird over a little bit. And there we go. That's the dark meat off. A lot of people say the dark meat is the most flavoursome part. Right now we're going to take the breast off. So an easy way of doing this is just to make an incision, a cut above the wing, halfway down the breastbone, and then take the meat off. So I'm going to do this side first. So I'm going to cut down the breastbone using the tip of the knife, and I'm going to carve a little bit above the wing bone. I normally take the wings off last, and then you just use the knife to start taking the meat off the bone. The beauty of this is that you don't end up with too much meat on the bone. Bones are great for keeping for stocks. So that's one breast off, put him there. And then the other one. Cooking times on turkeys also vary. If you're going to stuff the bird, which many people don't do these days, then you have to add a little bit of time on for the cooking because the bird has become heavier with the stuffing in the cavity. Right, I'm going to turn that one round. There we go. And then once these are off, I tend to use a bigger knife to do the carving. There we go, 2 breasts, 2 legs. And then the last part is taking these 2 wings off, which you can take off by twisting slightly, cutting through the joint that's there. I like to save them until the end, and also sometimes I use them as decoration when I carve, if there's enough meat to go around anyway. Put the wings there. Right, so we're going to save the carcass for stock and then get carving. there. Right. Now we'll do the breasts first. They're super easy. I'm going to use a longer knife because it makes it easier with the carving, especially if the turkey's bigger. So you can put a carving fork there. I always start with this end, the fattier end, and then just straight down. Now the beauty of doing it this way is the breast's natural fibres run this way. So carving this way makes the meat more tender, and having rested it, there's much more juice in the meat. We also get nice even slices. Very good at that. The other breast and do the same again. And we've got nice uniform slices. And then what I normally do is put the dark meat in the middle. Right, now we get one of the legs. I find the easiest way to carve a leg is to do the drumstick and the thigh differently. So I normally separate, and if you have a turkey crown without any legs, you don't get any of this magical goodness. Okay, and then last of all, what I normally do before taking the turkey to the table is pop the wings on top. Right, and there we go, ready for Christmas dinner.